This week, we were going to find out what type of Michigan State program resided in East Lansing, Michigan, with their backs against the wall and everybody tearing you apart. Well, we found out what the Spartans are made of. Great time to subscribe to the channel. Big Ted content every single day. Always crush the like button to spread the word of Big Ten Ted. Not only did we find out what this program was from last Saturday, we found out early in this game, interception, long touchdown the other way, just like that. Illinois is up 7-0. And it appeared at that time that Michigan State was just rolling over. It appeared, man, this is the season, right? Of course, what happened last week was terrible. And now coming out like this, it's just like, yeah, you're down all these players. It's going to be a long, long day for Michigan State football. But they didn't let that define them. That was a turning point right there in the Michigan State season. Mel Tucker these last 7 days, I think, has been a very good representation of Michigan State football. Okay, you go back of the fight and all that stuff in the Michigan tunnel and how got started with that investigation, how swiftly he acted, suspending some marquee players, some starters on this team. Obviously what happened was terrible, but how he handled the program and how he took this program and said, we're not going to tolerate that, but we're going to move forward. And then how he responded, led his team, and how they responded after that rough start at Illinois is to be commended. So thumbs up to you, Mel Tucker. Michigan State may no longer be stuck state. Well, they may be stuck, just a good kind of stuck. So how did Michigan State do it? To me, it comes down to those tough, short yardage situations. These are situations where Illinois normally excels. But man, I look at Michigan State getting tough yardage on third and short. You look at Michigan State giving Illinois a goose egg in the fourth down department. This is usually a place where Illinois, right, you get fourth and short, those fourth down situations when you need tough yardage. That's usually Illinois football, pound the football, Brett Bielema, a physical Big Ten type of football. That's where they excel, and they keep the chains moving. They keep the defense on the field for a couple of plays longer, and they just keep it going and keep it going. But you know what Michigan State did? They came up with stops. They got off the field. I was so impressed with the way these guys kind of rallied. This was a Michigan State team that just rallied together. I feel like almost they were playing with an us against the world type of mindset in there, and they just played loose, whereas Illinois seemed like they were playing really tight, at times maybe playing not to lose. You look at Illinois, here's where this game completely swung, and I think this was the difference in the football game. That second half, I call it the whiff punt, and of course the fumble deep in their own territory on fourth down. And, a lot of teams will give the football away, but it's the other team. When they are given that opportunity, can they turn it into touchdowns? Michigan State turned those opportunities into touchdowns. If they settle for field goals or get no points at all and that Illinois defense stands strong, I think we're talking about a different game, and personally, I think we're talking about a very different result in this football game, and Illinois comes out on top. So you got to give credit where credit is due. Michigan State finishing those short fields, finishing in those short yardage situations. I've kind of given a lot of grief to Peyton Thorne this season, but there's been some games where he can just make good throws. And I'm still not saying he might be a good quarterback. I still think he's kind of like an average quarterback, but man, he made some really good throws back of the end zone to Jaden Reed. This is a guy. You know why maybe he was better? Because they had a little bit of a running game, especially in the second half of this game. Jalen Berger kind of picked it up, and this was a team in Michigan State that I think this is the type of team we wanted to see all season long. And I thought when Mel Tucker got hired at Michigan State, this was the type of team that we were really going to see. We were going to see a tough team that could get tough yards and then could hit some big plays over the top. Tough defense, just tough. Mel Tucker, when I see Mel Tucker, I think of tough. We haven't seen that, despite last year's great season. That was not a tough team. Earlier on this season was not a tough team. When I looked at them against Illinois, that's a tough team. That's a team that can get tough yards. Did they out-tough Illinois? I don't know. I think they took advantage of opportunities. that Illinois gave them later in this football game. So I'll kind of just leave it at that. But they made the plays when they needed to. Illinois did not. Championship teams, I will say this, championship teams make those plays. So talking about Illinois right now. Illinois is still a good football team. Okay, I still think Illinois is very good. Chase Brown still had a really good day on the ground. Tommy DeVito still had a good day. Look at Isaiah Williams and his playmaking ability, catching short passes and turning them into big gains. Like, he's a really good player, and he stood out as the playmaker in this receiving corps. It's just, this is the game where they were just playing tight. Michigan State was loose, and they were making the plays. Illinois was not. Illinois, this is kind of a good reality check. Everybody, including moi, telling you how good you are. This is a good reality check for the Illinois Fighting Illini. You got to play Purdue. You got to play Michigan. Northwestern gave Ohio State a pretty good game on Saturday. So this is not going to be an easy road. I think a lot of people, including myself, still probably think Illinois is the top dog in the Big Ten West, especially considering how Purdue played today. But maybe there's other teams laying in the weeds. Maybe there's a 3-loss team. Maybe there's a Wisconsin. Maybe there's a Minnesota laying in the weeds. And, Purdue beats Illinois. Michigan beats Illinois. You kind of keep going down the list. This is far from over. This was kind of the first performance where this Illinois defense didn't seem invincible. And I think that's a big reality. We talk about the reality check for Illinois. I think big time. It's a reality check for this Illinois defense. It makes me, games like this make me second guess things. But people that, that sit in my chair or that are on bigger networks and everything, you got to stick to your guns. I still believe Illinois is a very good defense. I still believe Illinois is a really good team. We'll see how they use this as motivation going forward. I want to hear what you guys think of this matchup. You think Michigan State can take this and ride this and build this into bowl eligibility? Leave your thoughts, comment below. In Illinois, where do you use? I think that's the big question right now. How good or not good are the Illinois Fighting Illini after this loss to Michigan State? Let me know in the comments below what you think. Make sure you subscribe to Big Ten Ted. I am Big Ten Ted, and we will see you in the next one.